I'm live, I believe. I hope so. Hello, it is Sunday, the 19th of April, 26, and I'm reading the Awakening Letters. This is a variety of spiritual experiences in the life after death. These are channeled through Cynthia, Lady Sandys. She and her friend Rosamond Lehman lost their daughters Sally and Patricia. They died very young and in tragic circumstances, and it is those two, Sally and Patricia, who are transmitting messages to Lady Sandys and Rosamond Lehman. They have worked on this for 30 years, but this was published already in 1979, so that's quite a while ago. And I am here in number 3, part 3, the Glastonbury scripts. And I start with this letter. This group of letters from WTP was written at Chalice Wells in February 1969, when Cynthia and Rosamund visited Glastonbury in fulfillment of their promise to WTP. Now, who's WTP? I don't think it's come up. It's irrelevant, really. I'm a little strange to this new method of talking to you, my dear. Forgive me if I seem stiff. You know, I could never say things before strangers. Not that Sally or even Cynthia come into that category, but we have shared so much, so often in other lives. I have a mass of material to discuss with you. It would take volumes. We'll concentrate on Glastonbury. I woke up there on my second awakening, after the second death, when I had really shaken off all the earth attachments. And I found the Glastonbury, which was almost unknown to me. I didn't know my way about. Realizing it was Glastonbury on some other plane or vision, I waited for my understanding to pick up the vibration, and then, out of the mists, I found the Tor. For me, this was the center of power. It began long ago and has now become attuned to human and Christian vibrations, which the Devic world had firmly held out against. I saw the old great Devic being standing on the Tor. I had seen them before, but not clearly. Now they were radiant and magnificent in all the ancient beauty of mind and power. Then, as I watched, they changed and softened into the more humane Christ ray. I saw a turbulence of beauty glow in the valley and reach up, enveloping the divas, changing them with the love ray of the Christ power. This has nothing to do with the Abbey. It was almost in spite of the Abbey that the apricot light of Christ's aura grew and blended with the smoke blue of the Glastonbury vibration. The two rays formed into a most astonishing pattern, resembling a huge flower with tendrils reaching out in all directions. I sat down and basked in the beauty and intensity of this experience. That, my dear, is all that I can tell you today, because I have exhausted my earth vibrations. I will go on tomorrow. Thank you, Cynthia. It's much easier today. I will even dare to call our Alexias. That was her old name several times, because in pre-Christian days, when one life succeeded another with far more rapidity, she kept on reincarnating in the same family. They knew when to expect her, him, whatever you'd like to call her, and they naturally repeated the name. Yes, they were tremendous lives after a primitive fashion. We didn't get very much further in each life, because the light of evolution was going through a dark night, to be broken by the dawn of Christ's life on earth. I have now regained much of the knowledge which I had in my greater self, but only half-truths were filtered down to me in the last life, with many contradictions. Now, to go back to Glastonbury, it is and was our home in several incarnations, and I love it now with a strength unknown in my earth body. I returned, as I told you, and saw the great Devic spirits. Then I entered the Christ Ray and called upon my sight to give me the true answer about Joseph of Arimathea and the Jesus story. That is the answer. It is part of the Jesus story. The Christ had not yet taken over the body of the boy who came to Glastonbury, but he was overlighted by this great spirit. At this time, there were also other masters preparing Glastonbury for the revelations that were to come later. I do not think Glastonbury is meant for a dramatic role of tremendous vision. It is the slow and constant seeping through the spirit which has impregnated the whole area. And the constellations. I want you to know a little more about them. They are important because from each group of stars a certain area was chosen for their focusing point. They were to blend and bring the rays from outer space and from the other masters working there in relation with the Christ ray. We shall gradually introduce you to the other masters there who, like Christ, were the embodiment of divinity in other planets throughout the universe. So you see, Glastonbury is not confined to Christ. We are there in touch with interstellar divinity, which has a very different vibration altogether and must be accepted with great care after meditation and assistance from this side. I want you to feel that here and at Iona, we are the lighthouses for this planet. There are lesser ones, but here the great ones from all the divine planes keep in touch. It is only natural that this spot, chosen before time, should become the center of Devic power, and then of Druid power, and so on. But Sally is beginning to nag at my elbow and say I have used enough power, and I haven't even answered your question. Joseph of Arimathea, yes, of course, he came, and his earth body rests here. The Sapphire Bowl. My very dear Alexias, how can I tell you about the Sapphire Bowl? It is not for me to explain its beauty or its mission. I know when I touched it. He means when he first touched it in the body of RL, that quite a new vibration flooded through me. One that was not wholly on the Christ ray. Now I know it was meant to be the keystone for interstellar divinity. But before it had become materialized, the Devic powers of lower vibration took charge. And because of this, it had to be lost and buried near water, so that the water vibration could cleanse and heal the damage caused. I had to find it again and hold it secretly within the aura of my own security. All of this I knew in a half sense. I acted under direct instinctive direction. But the final use, if anything can be called final, is quite beyond me. I know the metal was placed for a purpose, to draw the mineral world into contact on all planetary planes. This I have been shown. The celestial power in the glass is beyond me to explain or understand. I was told to find and hold secretly this weapon of superb power, and that a day would come when it would be used to immense purpose on Earth. In answer to a mental query from Cynthia, no, it is not especially of healing value. That may be a side issue, but primarily it is an awakening symbol. Once the initiate is fully tuned in to receive this very high vibration, he or she will awaken to the interstellar power of communication and interception of thought. It proves such a curious thing in the aura. It become almost sticky, so that vibrations can be caught when they would otherwise flow through without leaving a mark of any kind. This is all I can tell you at present. I'm being shown how to regain much which I knew of old. It is a fascinating existence, and one I long to share with you, and I will as far as I can. Now, I've said my say for now, and with deep love and gratitude for all that you have given me, I will make my bow and pass the pencil to a very impatient Sally. Always your faithful, T.P. One more, later written in the upper room. T.P. Yes, I'm here in this room, created with so much care and thought. Alexius, I knew you and Cynthia would come and speak to me here and make me feel that I have left some particle of value to mankind. One feels after the reviewing of one's life how little one has done with all the opportunities that came one's way. He continues at some length, reviewing his lost opportunities and his faults as he sees them. With the most touching humility, humour and clear-sightedness, he stresses the importance of laughter, adding, I didn't laugh enough. I was given a sense of mirth and wit, and could use it if I wished, but I never cultivated it, and became austere and rather sad. Don't do anything of the sort, Alexius. Never quench the laughter that comes even from silly jokes. Sally followed him with a longish letter ending, so I can't tell you how much TP is teasing you and how much is true. Now, Mummy darling, we must work hard tomorrow. I am trying to prepare to give you more in writing. This is such a wonderful place, and one could say anything, but there is a kind of censorship. I suppose you're meant to find out a lot for yourself without a shortcut, like this. And I finish this here. It continues the next day.